Warming temperatures and the arrival of spring also mean the arrival of toxic algae blooms in Florida's large bodies of water. Now, typically, scientists rely on satellite imagery to detect and study these blooms, but now WeatherSTEM founder Ed Mansouri is providing a new way to get a closer look. Ed, thanks so much for joining us. We routinely use your cameras to see the weather across the country, and yesterday you set up 2 new cameras along Lake Okeechobee. How can they help scientists studying the area?
Well, good morning, and thank you so much for having me. Yes, I have got beautiful Lake Okeechobee behind me, Lake O as it's referred to around here. And we're setting up a number of these systems around Lake Okeechobee. This is our first one we've set up. And as you said, it's got 2 great high-resolution cameras. And in addition to the cameras that are going to be able to help see at the ground level when algae blooms are forming, when the satellite pictures are obscured by clouds, we also have a weather station here. So in addition to the camera imagery, we've got temperature, we've got rainfall, we've got humidity, solar radiation, all important pieces of information to help understand the correlation between weather conditions and the creation of these algae blooms.
And you touched.
And as I'll
Oh, sorry, Ed. Go ahead.
No, I'm just you can see I've got my installer Tim here. It was the one that puts these in the grounds for us. But go ahead.
I was going to say, you touched on it a little bit, but what is that these cameras can do that the satellite imagery that you have can't?
Well, if you're looking down at Lake Okeechobee from space and it's cloudy, you're not going to be able to see the lake. You're not going to be able to see those cyanobacterial algae blooms. And we get a lot of rain, we get a lot of cloud cover here, particularly during the summer months when you tend to get the most severe algae blooms. So by strategically placing these cameras around the lake and being able to see up close the water, it's just going to be a whole other set of data that they can work with, in addition to the weather data that we're going to be capturing as well.
And Ed, I've spent a lot of time in South Florida myself and in the Lake O area, actually, and I know that the bodies of water there have such a huge impact on people's lives. So what are you trying to do in terms of benefits of having this weather data from Lake Okeechobee?
Well, and this is just I love this part of Florida. It's just so beautiful. There hasn't, until we started this project, there's not a lot of weather data. There's a lot of weather stations in Miami, Fort Lauderdale, the big cities. But here, what goes on at Lake Okeechobee is where a lot of these algae blooms start. So what we're really hoping to do is to provide a really rich data model to eventually create a predictive model to where we can take the weather information and when we know what the weather's going to be and then say, be on the lookout for algae blooms in these particular waterways, which can affect things from health to conditions at the beach. So that's really our goal here, is to provide a valuable scientific data research tool that helps create a predictive model to know when these algae blooms are going to occur.
Yeah, because the algae blooms aren't just not pretty. They impact people's lives in a multiple amount of ways there in South Florida. Ed, thanks so much for being with us. That's WeatherSTEM founder Ed Mansouri. Lots of great information there. Can't wait to see how that helps with the future of algae blooms. Paul?